Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video. In this video, I'm going to share my experience with having a sleep study. 5 years ago, I had a sleep study. It was a prerequisite to having a kidney transplant, and at that time I did have sleep apnea, and today we're going to reevaluate to see if I indeed still need the CPAP machine. So stay tuned and I'll show you what it's like to go through having a sleep study. This was my sleep lab. I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions that I received on Instagram, and basically let's get started. First of all, I was in my own private room. I was asked if it was like a hospital setting, and it's similar to a hospital setting. I have my own room, I have my own bathroom, so there's no roommates in this situation, and there are sleep technicians there. They are in a different room. They can see you on the cameras because that's their job, and in their room they have monitors to not only see you sleep, but the monitors that are telling them if you're breathing correctly, what your heart rate is, what your oxygenation is. They also are there to see if you sleepwalk, if your legs are restless, anything that could be impacting your ability to sleep. In the room, you'll see there's lots of wires on the bed there. They're all laid out so they could be ready to be hooked up to me. And then on the other side of the wall, you will see that there's a TV there for you if you need to watch TV before you go to bed. And there's a camera on the ceiling, and then there's an infrared light on the wall there. And it's a very low level light when you're sleeping, so it does not affect your sleep at all. Okay, and what you're seeing here is a very unflattering but realistic picture of what it's going to look like to be hooked up to the monitors for a sleep study. On the top of my head, right on my scalp, there are EEG wires, and they are electrodes that will measure my brainwave activity. To the sides of my eyes, you will see electrodes placed that will measure my eye movement. There are electrodes placed near the bottom of my jawline, and they are measuring facial muscle activity. There is an airflow sensor attached to my upper lip. It's very similar to an oxygen cannula. There are 2 electrode patches attached to my chest underneath my shirt, as well as a belt, and that is doing a EKG, which is monitoring my heart rate. The white belt on my chest and abdomen are measuring breathing activity. There is an oxygen sensor on my finger, and that is measuring the oxygen saturation in my blood while I sleep. What you don't see in the picture are 2 electrodes that are attached to the calves of my muscles. They are measuring muscle activity. They're particularly looking for 2 sleep disorders, one called restless leg syndrome, the other called periodic limb movement disorder. Basically, the difference between these 2 sleep disorders is that periodic limb muscle disorder is an involuntary action where you often sleep, but not so restfully, through episodes of leg movements. In other words, restless leg syndrome keeps you awake and makes it hard for you to fall asleep. I want to cover a couple more of the questions that I have been asked. One of the first questions is, why is it necessary to record all these things? During sleep, your body functions differently than when you're awake. The only true way to determine just how well your body is functioning is with the sensors. They are all necessary in order to complete the picture of what is happening. How did you sleep with all these things attached to you? Personally, I did not sleep well at all. However, the technician told me that most people find it comfortable that the electrodes are placed in a way to allow you freedom and to sleep accordingly, and if they weren't comfortable at any time, that I could just push the call button and let her know. For me personally, it wasn't a fact that they were uncomfortable. They were fine as far as comfort level goes, but it was odd, awkward feeling of being attached to all the wires. And I tend to flip and flop in my sleep. I toss and turn. I just don't sleep well in general. And every time I would move, I had to move wires. So for me, it wasn't comfortable at all. I had a friend that did the sleep study, and she said it was awkward, but it went fine. So I think it just depends on personal preference. But if you do have a sleep study, tell your technician if you're not comfortable. That's the only thing that I could recommend. Were you given any drugs to help you fall asleep? No, I was not. I was asked the question if I take the medication to fall asleep, and I don't, so it didn't apply to me. No, so I was not giving anything to help me fall asleep. What if you have to go to the bathroom? Well, I did quite a bit because it took me a while to fall asleep. And basically, I had a call bell and a call button, and I was told to push it, and so I did, and the tech would come in, and she'd unhook the EKG monitor, and basically there was a thing that I could put it around my neck, and then I had to make sure that my leg wires weren't tangled up, and I just would walk in the bathroom, and then when I was done, I would come back out, and then push the button, and then they would hook everything back up. Can you read or watch TV if you can't fall asleep? The answer for me was yes. They basically told me to do whatever I do at home to fall asleep. And my biggest problem with falling asleep is pain in my legs. So a lot of times I will do things to distract me. I do stretch before I go to bed, but I will watch TV on my phone or read a book on my phone. I have a blue light filter app called Twilight that I use so that it's not stimulating my brain activity, keeping me awake. And I did. In fact, there was a couple times during the study where I thought I was asleep, but I couldn't, and I was really bothered, and I would, turn something really boring on that would help me fall asleep. And I did that throughout my study. I have not gotten my results back yet, so I'm not sure if they're going to talk to me about that or not. But if they do, I will update this video in the comment section. Guys, so sleep study is done, and now I just have to go home and, sleep. Really sleep in my own bed, and I have tons of paste in my hair that I have to go wash out. It's done, and now I just have to wait for results. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to connect with me more, go ahead and check me out on Instagram at Patty's Lupus Journey or YouTube. I post videos and content on Instagram regarding my life living with a chronic disease, as well as products I love and life in general, as well as recipes and planner info. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you can get updated regularly when I post videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.